Well, hello, my beautiful Capricorn. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam. Okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Capricorn, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. Now this reading tends to be very precise, so if it doesn't resonate with you, please don't try to make it fit, of course, but I do hope something resonates there for you all. So let us begin. Thank you so much, spirit guides, guardian angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Capricorn? What do they need to be aware of at this moment in time? What are they moving through and what lies on the other side? Please illuminate what they need to be aware of at this present moment and how things pan out for them. So we have the Page of Wands as the root energy. So this is your foundation. I feel a lot of you are trying to rediscover that spark within you, trying to, be a little bit more spontaneous, adventurous in your life. Easier said than done because life, of course, very practical right now, getting on by, doing what you got to do. But, this is a period of exploration for you. We have the Five of Cups as a crossing energy. So this can indicate some of you are investigating why you feel so exhausted. It can feel like you are drained from time to time with that Five of Cups. But also it can indicate that, right now you are either, for some of you, recovering from a disappointment or you're trying to manage some emotions regarding something that you wanted to commit to at this time. I feel like you're in a bit of a gear shift right now where things are kind of moving in a certain direction, but you're sorting out what comes with you, as it were. You are kind of revamping your life in some way, exploring what works, what doesn't work, of course. We've got the Wheel of Fortune on the earthly plane position. We've got the Devil card in the past position there. We've got the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you're working really hard to make life work right now. You're hoping for a bit of extra luck, a breakthrough there. But this reading, those are things outside of yourself. So I feel right now, I feel like you're doing a lot of questioning about who you are, where you aspire to be. What's it all about? There's an energy here. How would you like to receive? We've got the Knight of Cups. We've also got the Justice energy. So you're making some adjustments in your life, trying to be true to yourself. I mean, the Devil card is in the past position, so it can indicate you've been feeling a little bit stuck. You're moving away from that energy to try and, fall back in love with life. Even though there's a very practical energy hanging over you right now, you have responsibilities, duties. You may feel that some of your energies are at odds with each other right now, and you may feel that something has shifted or changed, and you're trying to break free from this kind of limitation or this challenge in some way, and things may have got a little bit heavy. Okay, with the Devil energy, I mean, of course, that is a Capricornian card, so it can indicate that you've been neglecting your own needs for some time and you really want to rediscover more about yourself. You've been feeling a little bit uncertain as to what the next steps of your life are about, because we have the Lover's card, which is all about choice, and that's circumstances outside of yourself at this moment in time. And We've got the Ten of Wands. Yep, there's the exhaustion. I could feel in your energy that, you know, you have a lot on. You're highly committed to everything that you do. And some of you even overcommitted. You've tried to be really disciplined with your energy, your time. And we've got that Ten of Pentacles there. So a lot of you working towards security in your life, safety, building a life of stability there. A lot of you, you know, perhaps focusing on your finances at this moment in time as well, being more efficient. I mean, this is a predominant energy in your spread, responsibility, duty, you know, having a lot to do right now. And of course, there is this challenge. So I feel with the Five of Cups as your crossing energy, there may be something perhaps that you've been holding on to or carrying with you that feels like a burden or feels like it's a lot, it's heavy. When the energy tends to get a little bit heavier, it means there's something that we need to let go of. Now, for some of you, it can be control. Okay, with that devil energy. Could also be that there's something that is on your mind that you want to accomplish. And sometimes, you know, when we care so much, because it is an opposing energy to the Knight of Cups there, you know, you're a very sensitive person. Everything that you invest your time and energy into, you care so deeply, okay? And that can bring a lot of pressure on your shoulders. A lot of you may have been extra critical recently upon yourself, or you feel a lot of pressure right now in order to achieve whatever this is. And I feel it's a lot, okay? Because you have two cards here with the words responsibility on your shoulders energy. And I feel with that Ten of Pentacles, whatever it is you're building, I feel like you are going to make monumental success in your life, but also I feel there is stability. I feel there is an energy of, you know, filtering things out within your family. You've got a lot on your mind regarding family responsibilities, but also relationships with people in your immediate circumstances. And of course, that's a lot, okay? So those are things outside of yourself, but let's bring it back to you, because the Page of Wands is an energy of playfulness, of exploration. I mean, this is the very core of you, something that you perhaps want to return to, and you may feel that life got pretty serious and heavy over the last couple of years, and it has been a lot. So this card at the very foundation of you can indicate, you know, that private feeling of wanting to be more spontaneous, wanting to strike out in certain directions, but you feel there is this sense of duty or responsibility or something you have to do first before you can actually action that. You know, pages are all about information, news. So it can be at the core of you, you are trying to return to your playful side or to your, I almost like want to say to the very part of you that maybe when you were younger was a little bit more, I want to say, adventurous, okay? And you're someone who is very exciting to be with, my beautiful Capricorns. You don't like to waste your time. You're also someone who, you know, when you've locked onto a goal, you do not stop until it's done, and you're very practical with your energy, but also, you know, you can be very spontaneous. You can suddenly turn on a dime and be like, okay, I'm going to be very unpredictable, because this is a card of unpredictability. But in a world that we live in right now, perhaps you feel that in this kind of environment where there's a lot of pressure. I mean, I didn't choose the cards, they popped out for you. The Ten of Wands there indicates you have a lot going on right now. It feels very heavy. It's hard to be so frivolous with our energies, and a lot of the time you may be exhausted because the Five of Cups is draining you. It's like, yeah, Baba, I'd love to be spontaneous, go out there, have fun, you know, have that devil may care attitude where you are adventurous, explorative. I definitely see you're leaning into your sense of purpose, but there may be a new way of life that you're reimagining right now, or that you are trying to revamp in some way. And I feel, of course, with that Five of Cups, it's hard. You know, you may have felt there's a path that you want to follow, and right now it feels like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, because the Five of Cups can indicate an energy that, you know, just when something seems to be fulfilling or it's going well, suddenly, you know, something happens to make it either fall apart, or that things have just been challenging. Just when you feel like you know where you're at, suddenly it feels like it's not rewarding, or you're making a lot of sacrifice for something right now, and you just feel disappointed. This is a card of disappointment, and it is your crossing energy. So I also feel that, of course, a lot of you are focused on your freedom, because this is a freedom card. It literally means having the freedom to roam, explore, do your thing. And of course, you may be looking at your immediate circumstances or the world at large, and how there are a lot of conversations right now about freedom, and you feel really disappointed in perhaps the way the world is moving at this moment in time, and you may be worried about what the future brings. But you know, there is this energy of being secure in that. I mean, you have 2 tens here, so you're thinking about it all. And whatever you're doing in your life right now, you're doing it all by yourself as well. You're feeling that fear and doing it anyway. And I feel like you're exploring a fresh new approach or a new avenue or a new way towards something that would really excite you. Because deep at the core of you right now, I feel you're looking at your passions. You know, that spark, this is the inner spark, the start of something that is brilliant, but it's in the foundation of you. And because we have this 5 of Cups as a crossing energy, you may be witnessing or noticing that things just don't feel the same way anymore, or that you perhaps feel a little bit bored with your options, or you just feel like things you used to be excited by or interested in just don't hit in the same way anymore. And you're like, well, when did that happen? How did that happen? I mean, on the earthly plane position, although you've got a Wheel of Fortune, which means the tide is going to be turning in your favor, that figure is literally looking in a mirror. And you may be actually feeling the same way as this figure, where there's twofold energies coming out here. One is, you know, you do not recognize either yourself or the life that you have right now as opposed to what it used to be, because something has either let you down or disappointed you, or you feel this profound sense of loss, or it just feels like at every turn there's discouragement, or, you know, expectations have not been met. But you cannot, you know, see that in your future something is about to align with you that brings balance, harmony, celebration, reward. And I can see that for your future. But right now you're in the gear shift. Okay, now the second energy I'm getting right now as well is this energy of you reimagining your path and your future. So, you know, that figure on that Wheel of Fortune is literally stepping into a vision of what she aspires to achieve in the future. And why I love that is, you know, your outcome energy is she's now fully stepped through that mirror. Now, mirrors are scrying tools, okay, as well as bodies of water. You know, a vessel of water can be used as a visionary scrying tool there. And this figure here is looking at the vision and thinking, you know what, I want that in my life, so I'm going to step forward towards it. So she's making that vision become a reality. Now, this figure has literally stepped through that mirror and is actually experiencing it. She's closer. She's in the ocean now. Whereas before, you know, she's looking at the vision from afar and wanting that. So I feel right now you are imagining something for your future and you're stepping forward to make it happen. And of course, it's heavy energy. It's a lot, because in order to transform your life, it requires a lot of energy, and you're spinning all the plates in your world right now. But I want you to be aware, because that's the 10 of Pentacles right there, your outcome. It's like everything that you aspire to achieve, you have the wealth of knowledge to go get it and claim ownership of it. So I feel like, you know, yes, it's tough, but I feel, you know, there is this relinquishing of control in your reading. Don't shoot the messenger when I say that, because I'm getting an energy from that Devil card. Even though it is a Capricornian card, I'm getting this energy of like, let go of control, explore your options, and, you know, which path makes you excited? Which path reignites that spark in your soul? That's the one that is calling to you right now, because this is a card of purpose and you're leaning into that. And it says exploration, excitement, and freedom, of course, on this card. And I mean, of course, you know, this is Bastet, and there's 2 figurines there of Bastet looking at themselves. So again, I feel it's like you are the epitome of what you want to achieve. So you are becoming that success, or that person that's investing in a certain way that will see the life that you aspire to reflected back at you, if that makes sense. But, you know, you are aware with that 5 of Cups that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. That is the nature of life. You know, you're a realist, and I'm not going to tell you anything more than you don't already know with that, because I'm not going to like fluff it up a little bit and say, oh my gosh, it's amazing, because we're all aware in real life, in real talk, that sometimes we're challenged, sometimes we're let down, sometimes we have to acknowledge that a disappointment is a redirection in some way that we should explore. Because if you see it as a rejection of a certain path or an experience or a person, it's often a redirection towards something greater. It is protection and redirection towards something greater. So I feel you're being aligned and things that are not meant for you are falling away. And that can be hard. You know, Five of Cups is an energy of something that you once connected to that was either fulfilling or something you wanted in that moment or something you enjoyed. This could be a connection with a person that felt fulfilling. It can be an environment. It can be an experience, an opportunity. Something isn't hitting the same way anymore, and you're trying to discover why. Did you outgrow this? A lot of you are outgrowing at this moment in time, evolving, taking a path that perhaps other people don't understand or are not capable at this part in their life of joining you on that path. So you're shedding with that Five of Cups there, and that can be really hard. And of course, any fives in tarot are challenges. So I feel like you are aware it's difficult right now. There's shortages, and this can be shortages of things to be excited about, or, you know, things that make you excited. A lot of you are drained because it's hard to run your life the way it is right now. And of course, the Five of Cups, for some of you, not all of you, only if you've come to this reading and it is something you have experienced. Firstly, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love, because the Five of Cups is also a card of grief. Okay, so some of you, if you have been grieving or going through a bereavement there, you know, there's no words I can offer you, but I can send you so much energy for healing. Words feel redundant in order to express how challenging that can be for you. And sometimes, you know, you're going to have a gamut of emotions where suddenly you're feeling numb. You don't recognize your life anymore. It feels bereft. And other times where you're swamped with emotions, and other times when you're angry, raging, and you have to feel it all, okay? But, you know, these emotions, they will wash over you. And of course, the emotions will pass. They may even resurface, but they will pass at some point. And time is not necessarily a healer. It is an acknowledgement that we will be able to manage some emotions, okay? Time, it really, for me anyway, in my perspective, it does not heal. It gives you the opportunity to manage, because the wound will always be there, okay? And a lot of you with that devil energy, you may have felt lost in this, or you may have felt stuck in this grieving period, but allow the emotions to flow as they must, because, you know, the body is purifying and dealing with a shock, with a sadness, and the body knows the way. So if anyone tells you that, you know, you should be over something by now, or you should be moving on from something, you know, that's not true at all. Acknowledge your emotions. They are there for a reason. But of course, we should acknowledge that they flow, because this is a card of flow, okay? And I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. What I'm seeing here is that this person, especially since the Lovers card is there, this can just mean a relationship where there is unconditional love, a bond that is unbreakable. So if you have had someone transition into spirit and they are no longer on the earthly plane, they are at peace is what I'm seeing there. And I feel like for some of you, if this was in a very questionable way, I feel if you're going through the legalities on that, I feel justice shall be had. Okay, that's something that's coming out there as well. But if this was more of like an energy that you're dealing with probate, you know, and of course inheritance and all of those things, you'd rather have the person. But I feel like you may be a little bit on autopilot and in a period of reflection on life, and, you know, just trying to do the legalities can really put you in your head and make you feel like really frustrated. But this too shall pass, and you're being guided. This person walks with you. You know, they understand there is a process, a procedure, but they want you to live. They want you to be free, because you've got that core at the beginning of your reading there as well. And I just heard they raise you up during moments where, you know, you feel like it's all collapsing there. So I'm sending you so much love. And they're going to give you signs. Ask for specific signs. I'm seeing like a pocket watch right now. So I feel this is just something connected to time for you in some way. I mean, it may be something specific. I'm not really sure. Maybe you're going to see a pocket watch as an omen right after this video, for example. Please take it as it resonates, but I'm just seeing a pocket watch. And this can be something generational. It doesn't have to be. But I just feel, because the time, I'm seeing the timepiece there, and it's connected to a golden chain link. And it just feels like it's still bonded. It's like we're still bonded. We're still connected. I feel that's the message. symbolically from that image, okay? But ask for something specific because you'll be given it pretty much straight away within a couple of days is what I'm being given there. So with a lot of love and respect and light, I'm going to remove myself from that energy and move forward. But the rest of you beautiful Capricorns, no matter what you're going through with that Five of Cups, as a crossing energy on that Page of Wands, it tells me that maybe in the past life felt a little bit more simplified or a little bit more fizzy, a little bit more like there was passion in your spirit. That's not gone away. That's still there and it will resurface. But you may be lamenting a part of your life that you feel like you've lost touch with, almost to the point where you feel like you just don't recognize things as they are in their present form because you're in the middle of a gear shift here. I feel like, yes, you're under a lot of pressure. The world, of course, has increased that pressure on everyone. And I feel that, you are now seeking something more with your life. And you may feel like you don't have it right now, but that's why I kind of like this card in this position, because you read the reverse as well as the upright in this position. That which you feel like you do not have or you feel like you have lost out on, it shall be delivered to you either in a different form or you shall have the actual form that you wanted, because this can be a recovery. Now, for some of you, of course, this is a recovery period of healing, okay? And whether that's through your emotions or you're recovering from some sort of substance, for example, or you are recovering from a very toxic period in your life, maybe it was a toxic relationship or an experience you had, whatever it is, you're leaving this hardship, toxicity, or this maybe even obsession for some of you. There may be worry and anxiety there. If you've been feeling stuck in a rut, or every time you try and reach for something, it feels like it ends up disappointing you in some way, I actually don't see that you're managing your expectations to be like a little bit less. I don't see that at all. You're like, I'm reaching for the top, I'm going for it, and you're going to get it. So I do see that which you feel you do not have right now, that missing ingredient in your world, I feel like you shall have it, but that's something outside of yourself. I feel this is more inside of yourself. A lot of you are doing some soul searching and reflecting on who you are and finding that happiness within you, because you have everything you need within you, the answers, the energy, the passion, the spark. It's all within you. You are divine. So this is about shining your light. So a lot of you during this period, because of course the Devil card is present, Capricornian energy, a lot of you are reflecting on who you are, what your needs are, where you've neglected those needs, and where you can lean into self-care a little bit more. Because the Wheel of Fortune, basically, I feel a lot of you are looking at the hand of fate that you've been dealt, the cards that have been laid out on your particular table, and looking at the energy, I feel like, okay, let's turn this on its head, because look at this card. It's like in the future, you're turning things upside down. I mean, I feel like you're being a little bit more flexible. I feel like you're releasing control. You're starting to love life a little bit more. I mean, if some of you are feeling stuck when it comes to love, if you're single and wanting to be in a high-level commitment, you're wanting to find a spark. Some of you may have gone through a separation recently, and this has really like got you in your head and trying to reinvest in yourself and enter into a new pace of life there. I see you being in love again. The Knight of Cups is there, the Lover's card is there, Ten of Pentacles is a marriage card or a commitment card, and that is for life. So I do see that, if you're searching for love, I feel first off, you're searching for yourself, okay? I feel like you're creating, a space inside of yourself and in your world for love to come on in, a healthy space there. So you may be looking at cycles in your life, reflecting on experiences you've had that have repeated, and you're just so fed up of that. You're breaking the cycle in some way, and it's really hard, but you're learning to let go with that Five of Cups there. You're letting go of the heaviness. You're letting go of the burdens, the things from the past that, have perhaps been energetically attached to you in some way, because this is an attachment card, but you're leaving it in the past right now because you don't need this. You're setting yourself free. That's at the very core of you, the freedom card. So it's like, whatever negativity or anything that's been holding you down, you're setting yourself free and you're tapping into better luck because of it. You're literally turning a page in your life. Now it says here, fate, comma, and fortune. I feel like you are literally stepping into better fortune there, but it is the earthly plane position. So I feel a lot of you are grateful, even though there are things that you do not have in your life, you're grateful for what you have. And that gratitude is actually going to multiply all the things that you will be grateful for in your future. In fact, I feel like your future self will thank you for all the positivity you're trying to lean into despite all the moments that come to try and tear you down or make you feel negative. I feel like you're not allowing anything or anybody to rain on your parade. That's literally what I'm feeling from your reading right now. Now, of course, because this figure is literally looking in the mirror, a lot of you may be looking at yourself aesthetically at this time. My readings are not about aesthetics, but I can tell you one thing for sure. You do not look your age. You're someone who's young at heart. You're someone who looks a lot younger than you actually are. And, you know, sometimes that is a blessing, but sometimes you may feel that's a curse as well. You may feel that people either dismiss you, or when it comes to relationships, you may be attracting a sort of type of person who is in it for the physical, someone who is really excited by, you know, you and your body and your looks, and you're looking for something a little bit deeper. You're looking for a fated, destined relationship with substance, and people can gravitate towards your beauty, your attractiveness, your handsomeness, and they're seeing the physical side, because this is an energy of like lust. Okay, and it can be that sometimes you're either attracting people who are a lot younger than you, who are looking for, you know, I don't want to say fixing, but it's almost like they may be going through stuff, because we've got that Five of Cups there. It's almost like you raise them up, you actually give them confidence, and then they flee the nest. Or you're finding very immature people. It may not be about age. It may be that you're attracting immature people who are inconsistent, don't know what they want, and especially if you're someone who is in a certain position where you can help them, you know, rise through the ranks or help them financially. I feel you may have been tested with people like that. Not all of you, but some of you may have been tested in that form. I can tell you that there is a wonderful relationship coming on in that is reciprocal, gives back, and someone who's in it for the long haul. But of course, this reading is about you. It's not about things outside of yourself, but it did pop in there, so I had to mention it. The Devil card, you know, it's in your past position. And I'm actually seeing this card more in terms of, you know, living a life of excess or being spontaneous, being unpredictable. I mean, it literally says pleasure here, playfulness, as well as materialism. Now, you do have a 10 of Pentacles there as well. So this can indicate, in order to make money or be responsible for the life that you're aspiring to achieve, sometimes we have to choose, because you have the Lover's card there, which is a choice card. Now, do we choose to pay our bills and stay on top of our responsibilities? 9 times out of 10, yeah, we do, because that's just the way that society has structured the life that we've been born into. But of course, have you kind of been living this life at a cost? And what I mean by that is, there's so much responsibility surrounding you with these cards, and it's like, have you compartmentalized that fun side of yourself, or that spontaneous side, that side of yourself that seeks more pleasure? Because this is a pleasure card, you know, that lives in the moment. So I would say a lot of you, it's like in the past, it was easier to just be spontaneous or live in the moment. There's a lot of pleasure there, a lot of thrill-seeking energy, perhaps just a freedom that perhaps you feel you don't have right now, but you shall have again. Doesn't mean that you're going to repeat a cycle there, because I feel like the cycle has ended. I feel it's a new form of excitement. As you mature, you gravitate towards different things. And I feel a lot of you also, you're leaving toxicity in the past, and I feel this energy of being stuck or feeling like obsession or anxiety. I feel also for some of you, this could be anger. Could be doubt, could be fear. You're leaving it behind. A lot of you may feel as well when it comes to the world, because our outside circumstances can shape who we are, but remember the core of you and who you truly are within these changes. And I feel you're coming home to self in a way because of that period of reflection. But you may feel that perhaps there have been some really negative forces governing our world, for example, trying to trigger fear, for example, and you're trying to be that spark of positivity. You're trying to, you know, keep that faith alive and keep moving towards things that bring you joy. Focus on your sense of purpose, because that is a purpose card right there. And as you can see, the cards, as you start to go towards an outcome, become a lot lighter there. So I feel the energy gets lighter for you, but you're aware that perhaps, you know, there are certain triggers going on in this world in order to trigger fear, anxiety, to keep us stuck in low vibrations. So a lot of you are like, you know what, I need to work really hard to release that. And a lot of you, if you've been feeling that you've been a little bit negative or grouchy recently, I feel it is triggered by the amount of pressure that you're on and all the things that you're trying to aspire to achieve. You've had some setbacks, but I feel that they are set ups for what is yet to come, okay? So I would say breathe, relax. What is meant for you will never pass you by, and you're leaving this energy firmly in the past, okay? You're moving on to bigger and better things. But also, this is a Capricorn card, so it can indicate that in the past you thought more about yourself, or you invested more in yourself, and you may feel that, you know, you haven't had the luxury of being able to implement self-care routines, or you haven't had time. You've almost like neglected your own needs. Well, that stops here as well. I feel like this is a period of giving back to yourself and really kind of like leaning into your best self, as it were. And with that Knight of Pentacles, this is your potential position. So this can indicate stability. Yes, you work hard for the life that you aspire to achieve. You know, this card, when you apply it to self, this is all about investing in your body, your mind, your soul. This is about being generous to yourself, treating yourself occasionally. It's about sticking to your traditions or your values, leaning into your life philosophy there as well, working hard to preserve the life that you've aspired to achieve. I mean, a lot of you may be looking at body, mind, and soul right now, trying to look into mindfulness, trying to come back to your core, your center, look at your eating habits. A lot of you, I mean, this card is a wonderful card. It looks beautiful there, but it doesn't pictorially kind of express what the card actually means in tarot. Always look up the meanings of the cards that pop out for you, because they will tell you a certain story there. And I always give you the meanings of the cards as well as the energy that comes out in each reading and what my guides have to say, as well as anything I see in the water there. I'm actually seeing the water for you right now. Loads of heart-shaped balloons floating up into the sky. Now, I mean, this could literally mean symbolically that you're romancing your life a little bit more, or that things are going to get lighter for you. This could also mean that things are taking off. I mean, they're heart-shaped balloons for a reason. This could be that you're leading with love as well. You're trying to be more positive, but it could also literally be something that you will see in the next coming weeks or months that highlights things are going to get easier, and there's a turn of events that are luckier for you coming on in, and you're starting to elevate. Okay, so I just feel like it's really positive. I mean, it could be a launch of something as well. Maybe it's a brand new you right now that is emerging. So I'm going to leave that image there. But this card, it actually means, you know, that you're coming back to your body, to yourself. You're investing in your bodily needs, like your minerals, vitamins. You may be even looking at food right now in a different way. For example, you may not be just looking at you know, an egg. You may be like looking at the egg like, okay, that's going to give me vitamin D. That's going to give me, you're looking at the minerals, or you're looking at the properties of your digestion diet, for example, and seeing what it gives back to the body in some way. And it's almost like the way you see the world in some way, or your body or your mind, it literally has shifted. And I do get this energy where a lot of you are asking, like, where did I go? You know, it's like life has changed. I don't recognize either myself, or I don't recognize the way that I think. It's because you're upgrading in life in some way, and there's a gradual improvement happening here with health and optimism. And also I feel that, you know, all that hard work is actually going to pay off for you as well, whatever you're invested in at this moment in time. And, you know, I just get this energy because the Knight of Pentacles, it always kind of reflects that no matter how hard things get, you're always the person who's going to be left standing. You're the person who perseveres, goes the distance. You invest a lot into relationships, friendships, your commitments, your projects, and I feel it's just going to pay off for you. Ten of Pentacles is you put your whole soul and your heart into something, and you will be rewarded for everything that you invested. And that's across the board. And it says efficiency, hard work, and responsibility. And I feel that's been hanging over your head. Life got pretty serious, and you're just reflecting on what you would really like to happen as opposed to what you're accepting as happening right now. And it's like you're aware that you have to be the change that you want to see in your world, because if you do not change, you accept. And I feel with that Page of Wands, you're curious about either an alternative path or, exploring a new adventure or leaning into your sense of purpose to bring you to new places, be more spontaneous. I feel like there's an energy of like, I do not accept, okay? And with that Knight of Cups there, this is an energy of following your heart, basically. This is following your bliss. This is about you looking at what you have to offer in life, and it is so much. This is about you like shining your light, getting out there, and I would say that card highlights someone being footloose and fancy free. Easier said than done, I absolutely know, because life is hard right now in terms of the economy, in terms of what we got to do. It always feels like you're on the treadmill of life and it is one foot in front of the other. But I see things getting easier for you. I see that this is an energy for you where you are refining your goals. You are having higher standards when it comes to the people you connect to. And I also feel that, much opportunity is going to come your way. But you are the spark. It's like you're imagining something new right now, and the universe is wanting to offer it to you. There is some sort of destined opportunity coming on in. I mean, you have 2 knights here. So it's telling me, like, look at your options. Are you choosing the path that is, of course, rewarding, hard, but also full of responsibility? And are you kind of abandoning moments of fun or spontaneity because you have this sense of duty? Now, of course, we all do it from time to time. That's just life, okay? But it's like, can you have the two? Can you balance things out? The answer is yes. And if you can't do it right now, I totally understand, but I see a future for you where you will. Will you get the best of both worlds? Because you do have that justice energy. And this is your advice to yourself in this moment. Find balance, harmony. You're harmonizing your life. You're doing what is right for you, but also you have this sense of duty, because this is a card of encompassing 2 sides of a coin in order to get the best out of it for you. So with this justice energy, I feel like a lot of you with these 2 cards, there's some really great karma coming towards you because you've been investing so much of yourself into people, into situations. You've been giving back. You've been in service in some way, and all this hard work is going to pay off there for you. But I feel you're in a period right now of reflecting on your life and being like super clear and honest with yourself, to the point where, you're looking at your life and saying, do I like what I see? And if you don't like some of the things that you're seeing right now, you're setting these changes in motion, because the Wheel of Fortune is a cycle of change. And there's one constant in this lifetime. It's change. Okay, so I feel like you're aware of that. You're a realist. This card tells me that you're being direct with yourself. I said you're holding yourself to higher standards, and I'm not sure if that's even possible, my beautiful Capricorn, because you tend to hold yourself to higher standards. But I feel like you just want things to be fair, to be even, to be equal. And I feel like you are someone who is going to find that in your life because you're striving for it. Also, the Justice card tells me that you're making some adjustments in your life so that things can be balanced. You can work and, play, and you can, invest your time and be serious, but at the same time be frivolous and explorative. So I feel like you will have the best of both worlds with this card. Okay, now some of you, also, if you're going through a court case or a legality on something and it's been hanging over you and it feels very intense, or you feel worried about it, the 10 of Pentacles is your outcome energy. You'll learn something from this. You'll learn where to not trust the situation or trust your instincts, or you'll learn, how to structure your life in some way. But, the 10 of Pentacles indicates some sort of culmination. It comes to an end, but it is valuable, and there will be some sort of material outcome there as well for you. I mean, the 10 of Pentacles indicates some sort of large amount of money. So this could be compensation for something. Lead with integrity, get all the facts, like lock it down. Document everything there, because I feel like getting good legal representation will help as well. But I feel the way you conduct yourself, there may be a lot of pressure or some dirty tactics going on there where they just want you to give up, walk away from it, unless there is a good cause to and they compensate. Some of you may have like an out-of-court settlement. They may actually just give you the money to be like, go away. And if you feel that's fair, then of course you'll, adapt to that outcome. But if you feel it's not fair, you're striving for the truth. You're seeking something that is fair right now, and you shall be rewarded for that fairness, okay? But I feel this is also an energy of looking at your options before you decide the right course of action. Now, of course, not everybody's going through a court case, and that is something outside of yourself. So I'm going to reel that energy right back in there, because this is the circumstances outside of yourself right now, but the rest is all about you. Every pathway in this reading is a connection to something you're going through at this moment in time, but something outside of yourself right now with the Lover's card. It can be that you're witnessing, friendships or relationships evolving, and you feel like a detachment going on. There's just this energy with that Five of Cups of letting go or shedding. And you may be disappointed that some of these relationships, you're either outgrowing them, or you feel there is a distance, or there's something going on there where they've either showed their true colors, or they've changed, or there's been some sort of toxic repercussions in a relationship or an environment with that person. And you're like, I don't need this. I don't want to waste my time with this. And whilst you will lament the relationship and its evolution, where you're moving on and setting yourself free, you're setting yourself free. Sometimes, dynamics will change and shift. And if someone is not having your back, supporting your journey, or being there for you when they can, we can't always be there for everybody, but if it doesn't feel reciprocal, if it doesn't feel, that it has substance, and you feel there's a slight change or an emptiness about it, you're walking away. And whilst that can be a very lonely existence to have when you're in the middle of this kind of recalibration of your life, I want you to be aware that you're attracting more people into your life who will be your ride or die, who will align with you in your truth, who see you and appreciate you for who you truly are. So if you are seeking relationships, friendships, community in some way, I feel like, you're going to be sent people into your life who align with the next part of your journey. You are not alone. This card highlights, although, in moments you may feel like you walk alone, there are lots of people in spirit, your ancestors, your guides, who are there protecting you and guiding you and cheerleading you on from the sidelines. But also, people are being sent into your life in order to help you with the next steps. I feel there is a co-alliance with this card, and it highlights that every experience you have is connected. Even when you're walking away from something, it is connected, because it is informing you who you are, what you will accept, what your boundaries are, what you will not accept, and how you conduct your life and what you believe in. You're standing up for something that you believe in, your life philosophy, and at the core of it is the freedom to choose, of course, but I feel this is about it being your prerogative to kind of like align yourself with people who feel like they're necessary for the next part of your journey. And a lot of you, you're leaning more into your family and finding the present moment to exist in love and harmony and enjoy the moment, to learn more about the people that you actually connect to. This is about coming back to the center, a lot of you. So I feel you're simplifying your life and finding a way to recognize that human connection is one of the most important things that we can experience in this lifetime. Of course, we learn from each other, we inform each other, even when we disagree with each other. Our points are valid as long as we're not hurting anyone, expressing ourselves and saying, well, this is what I feel, this is what I believe, and these are the facts, or these are my intuitions, my intuitive leanings on something. And then there will be an opposite to that as well, that perhaps is completely different, and we must acknowledge that it is another person's viewpoint, and it may not be right or wrong, because this card in this position with these two, it's like sometimes two truths can exist because of a perspective. And, we must honor that everyone has their own perspective and their own feelings on something, and they're always going to come from a position where they feel they are right because it is their truth. But we must be open to understanding, because this is a card of, being someone who's supportive, but also understanding, having empathy, that another person's perspective can also be correct from their experiences and their viewpoint, and they can co-align or they can inform. If someone disagrees with me, I kind of like it, because I'm like, okay, I want to learn more. Why do they disagree with me? What is it that they've experienced that makes them feel that way? I want to get to the core of the matter, and we can have a discussion. So I feel some of you may be actually experiencing that right now in your life with somebody. There may be some sort of conflict or disappointment where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they feel that way, or that they support that, or that they are against that, or whatever it is. And you may be seeking to understand right now, and you're still defending your belief system, but you're open to understanding the other side, because there's one thing you came to this lifetime to experience, my beautiful Capricorn, and that is information and to be informed and to have experiences. We are human beings. To be is to exist and to experience, not human doings, okay? So we are constantly doing. With that 10 of Wands, you're constantly doing. But I feel a lot of you are trying to simplify life, find harmony, balance, protect your inner peace, but also understand others and their choices. Now again, coming back to yourself, I feel like you're making a choice or a decision right now, and you're looking at your options. And for some of you, because there's 2 knights here, the options may actually be very similar. So it's really hard to choose between the two, whatever this is. But the heart knows the way. Okay, you're going to choose your heart, because in the near future, you've got the Knight of Cups energy. You're getting all the facts. You're being rational, and you are being informed as to both paths, because I feel like you're choosing a path right now, maybe something new. And I feel the one that's captured your heart is the one that's going to be the path that you follow. Yes, there is a sense of duty attached to one of the paths, but I feel like, you know, there's going to be duty and responsibility in both. To be honest, you may as well follow your heart, right? So I'm just going to leave that there. But we've got choices, union, and love. So I feel also on a deep soul level, you're learning to love yourself, fall in love with your life again after a period of feeling like you don't recognize part of your life. You may feel that the world is a place that you don't recognize anymore, and you're trying to rediscover the magic in it right now, and it's hard, okay? But this is a hope and a fear position. The fear is that it's a lot right now, and you fear that it will always be this way, and you feel heavy in your energy, exhausted, you're at capacity, you're like burdened, or you're fatigued with so many things that you have to do right now, like burnt out energy, okay? Also, this can indicate that you're burning some bridges in your life right now. You're like, no, I'm not going back to that. It didn't serve a purpose, or it left me bereft, or it disappointed me, broke me down, made me tired, and you're done. So you may fear whether you're making the right decision. But if your feelings are like, I do not accept this, then of course you are right in your next steps there of burning a bridge in order to protect your energy. You are in self-preservation mode looking at the energy that we have here. But why I'm excited is that this card is in the resistance position, so you also read it in the reverse. There is a new beginning upon you, and it's exciting, it's fresh, it's new, it is explorative, and it leans into your sense of purpose. And I would say, you know, when you're reaching for something that is going to make you monumentally successful, in whatever it is. Now, success looks differently for everybody, of course. Success can be that, you know, you reach your optimum health. Success can be you reach your optimum money. It can be you reach your optimum relationship. Whatever it is for you that you're focused on, because everyone, as I said, will have a different vision. Whatever's in that mirror right now for you is your vision. And because you care so deeply about it, with that Knight of Cups there, 10 of Wands indicates you will put pressure on yourself because you care. It's hard because you care so much. Now, if you didn't care, then it would just be easier. You'd be like, meh, okay, but no. So I feel a lot of you are trying to care deeply about what you want to accomplish without putting the pressure on yourself to release the attachment to the outcome. I can tell you the outcome is going to be very rewarding. It's going to go smoothly for you. And I feel, you know, whatever it is you're invested in, you have the wealth of knowledge to take yourself to the top there. You achieve a mastery with that 10 of Pentacles, whatever that is. So if you're hitting the gym, for example, you know, all that hard work, it's going to pay off. You're going to see the results. If you're putting yourself in circumstances to meet new people because you're trying to align with love, can be that, you know, you're off on adventures, doing things that excite you, leaning into hobbies that, you know, actually feel like they align with you now, whereas you're, you know, moving away from things that didn't make you feel invested, you know, or something has changed, something doesn't feel the same way. You're co-aligning with the things that will bring you what you want. So you are going to find the love of your life, for example. So this card in this position, as I said, that's why I'm excited that these two cards are in the position that they're in. It means, yes, it's hard right now, but you can't see it because if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the 5 of Cups You know, that is pictorially a vision of what that card actually means. Although this is a beautiful card, you know, it can indicate balance there. But the original, you know, traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the Five of Cups sees a figure lamenting 3 cups that were once full. Now they're spilt. So you may feel like things are really tough right now. You are like exhausted. You're like, I've tried it all. I've tried everything. I've looked at my options and it's just like not fulfilling anymore. There are 2 cups behind the figure and the figure has not seen this yet. So something is to come for you that co-aligns with you that is going to be rewarding. 2 cups often means, you know, you attracting something you want that is connected to your heart space. It can be a union with people. It could be a co-alliance with someone who's going to help you be successful. It can be, you know, the thing that you feel is the missing ingredient. It can be friendship. It can be an opportunity. Whatever it is, you are attracting it right now. You can't see it right now, but in your future, you have it. And with that 10 of Pentacles energy, it is a feeling of freedom, fulfillment, and I feel that this is about you feeling stable and secure, and you've stepped into a world that you built yourself. You're self-made. Whatever this is, you did this, okay? And you built this through hard work and dedication, and you're claiming ownership of it. Also, on a personal level, a lot of you may be in a period of detoxing at this moment or decluttering. And this could be decluttering your mind through mindfulness or decluttering your closets of old, outdated things that you always thought that you'd need and you never did. All those leads in the back of the cupboard that you're like, maybe it connects to something and I may need it. And now you've got 100 leads and you're like, I never use these. Now you're like doing the decluttering. A lot of you could be detoxifying with your diet, exercise routines, or even the places that you frequent right now because you're building a healthier future for you and there's a lot of freedom to choose within that. So I'm just going to go and get final cards for you. We have the Tower. So the Tower is basically a bit of a revamp. It can also mean a surprise, a structural change in your life where you feel like you've been stuck in a rut. The Devil, I mean, it's in the past position, but the Tower is often connected. You know, the Devil is there and then the Tower comes next in the major arcanas. So it's like, you know, you become aware that you're stuck in some area or there's been a cycle of repeat. The Devil card is not an evil card. It actually highlights where you're feeling stuck or what you're bonded to that is not healthy for your progress or your path. And the Tower helps you take a leap of faith to set you free. You know, the Tower is like a sudden epiphany, a realization. I often say the Tower is like prison. You go round and round in circles. You know, sometimes that prison is a construct that we build ourselves. We feel comfortable because it's familiarity. But you're a sign that likes to transcend familiarity. You like to reach for more. So that Tower can be, you know, smashing through a glass ceiling, or a limitation or something that has kept you stuck for a while. And of course, it can be that you've been shocked by some of the changes and you don't recognize the world that perhaps you've been existing in for some time. But now you're rebuilding it in the vision that you aspire to have it in. You're achieving something more. And it says here, by withstanding the coming challenges, your future will be bright. See things as you want them to be in order to make them become that way. So yes, I see that with that Five of Cups, and again, you know, look up the meaning of a Five of Cups. It's disappointment, challenge, you know, shortages, difficulties, a lot of self-sacrifice. And, you know, look at that Wheel of Fortune. That is the vision of what that person aspires to see and achieve in the future. And she's stepping into that vision. Okay, so I feel like you're in that period. And to complement the Tower, you've got the Sun. Now, the Sun, of course, does come after the Tower, not immediately. We have the Star and the Moon in between, but you know, the Sun is an energy of you going through an awakening, which means you see things in a different way. So a lot of you are reflecting, ruminating, observing the world around you, the people in it as well, and recognizing what has changed, shifted, and how you feel about that. And, you know, you are in a very monumental moment right now where you are reaching for success, you are awakened, you are, you know, trying to set your world and your soul on fire again, reignite that spark, reach for the light as opposed to the dark. I feel like you're trying to get clarity on your life and your path. You're aware of what you need to do. And I feel, you know, you're searching for that happiness. And because we have the Devil card, of course, this can be that you're searching for that happiness within yourself and you're making some changes and holding yourself to higher standards in order to action that. But it says here, The Sun, you are approaching a moment that has the potential to change your life. Yes, it's all there. There's 2 opportunities coming on in here for you to change your life. You're going to choose the right path for you. You're going to run with it, and it's going to be a monumental success. You're going to be so proud of yourself. It says, take full advantage of this time, and you will achieve a future of endless possibility. And I feel that is something that is also present in your reading here with the Celtic cross. Okay, so I'm just going to go and get a trinket or rune before we close. So we have the Pegasus. So you're about to take flight. This is connected to the Ace of Swords card. It often means destiny and fate intervene to help you on your path. You have the Wheel of Fortune. So as I said, you're stepping into better luck, better opportunities coming your way. There is a shift here for more fortune, more positivity, but this is an energy where you break through cycles of repeat that have been hard, and there's going to be some really fast changes happening here for you. You're taking accountability and responsibility for your life. There's a lot of achievement here as well. You're having the courage of your conviction. You're holding yourself to account. So you take ownership and leadership of your life. And I feel many breakthroughs are coming here for you, and there's elevation, but also expect to see lots of meaningful coincidences. Ask the questions. If you have a path that you need to choose, ask like for a sign. Show me the way. I mean, the answer is actually within you. You don't really need the signs outside of yourself, but sometimes we like to kind of ask for a little sign from the universe to highlight, and you will get that sign. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Capricorn. Thank you so much, and love and light.